Hello and welcome to Property Law. I'm Sara Bronin and I created this series to help you understand the basics of property law. So there are four fundamental questions that this series covers, and today we are talking about the second, which is acquiring property. And we're back to thinking about one of the four methods to acquiring property from a root of title, and that is first possession. So we're talking about the first possession path, if you will, to a root of title. So I am originally from Texas, a place that built itself on oil and gas. The way that so many people got so wealthy from oil and gas in Texas is from the modern application of an ancient doctrine called the rule of capture. To understand what the rule of capture means, you first have to understand what a subsurface estate versus a surface estate is. The surface estate is where I am now. It's where you walk. It's above the surface of the earth. It is where we conduct most of our human activities. The subsurface estate is a part of the property going down to the depths of the earth in the Blackstonian view. It is below the surface of the earth. So what do you have in the subsurface estate? You have oil and gas, as mentioned. You have water. You have natural gas, hydrofracking, and you have minerals. So you have a lot of different valuable things in the subsurface estate. Mineral estates are a kind of subsurface estate. You can divide both the surface estate and the subsurface estate up. So you can actually lease or even sell off subsurface estate rights to someone else. But let's make it simple when we talk about the rule of capture. Let's assume that a property owner owns both the surface estate and the subsurface estate, and that property owner stands out in the middle of their Texas oil patch field and drills down. Now, what is that property owner entitled to when it comes to the subsurface estate? He or she is entitled to all of the oil. Again, we're assuming we're drilling for oil underneath their own estate. So underneath all the way down to the bottom of the earth there. In addition, if they go through their own surface, they stick that straw in the ground, they're also entitled to their neighboring property owner's oil. So we get this law from England, we get this concept from England, we get this ad caelum, everything up to the sky and down to the earth. But the rule of capture is really two contradictory rules embedded with each other. Each property owner gets what's underneath, but each also has the right to drain the common pool. So how do you justify this rule? So one of the things to think about is that lots of things that you get underground, oil is one of them, natural gas, water, they aren't fixed beneath particular surface estates. From a sheer measurability perspective, it's impossible to figure out whose oil you're extracting when you put something in the ground. But in addition, this principle allows people who have the resources and the ability to extract property from their underground estate, extract oil, extract natural gas. It provides them with a reward for undertaking that process. In theory, the rule of capture is intending to reward something good, but oftentimes, as we know now with climate change and with the environmental effects of oil extraction, natural gas extraction, it is not at all clear that those kinds of extraction processes actually have societal value. And in fact, they've probably set us back really far. But putting that editorializing aside, again, in theory, the rule of capture is to motivate productive activity. On the other hand, you might look at the rule of capture as a tragedy of the commons type issue. So tragedy of the commons, when people are depleting or degrading a common precious resource to the detriment of society as a whole, that's the tragedy of the commons. And here, think carefully about things like aquifers and groundwater, which are in many states often subject to the rule of capture, just like oil and gas is. Think too about the practice of hydrofracking, which is subject again in many states to the rule of capture. But as you are extracting the gas, the frackers are also emitting dangerous chemicals into the ground. That pollutes their own groundwater, but it also pollutes the groundwater of their neighbors and for all of us who want clean water. So as you learn more about commonly held land, about natural resources, about the practices of industries involved in subsurface estate resource extraction, I want you to consider the implications of the rule of capture. Who does this ancient rule benefit? I think it's pretty clear it benefits those who can extract, those with the property and resources to actually build extracting infrastructure. On the other hand, who does the rule of capture hurt? It often hurts immediate neighbors, but also, as we see in this fracking example or water extraction example, it also hurts society as a whole. So you do see that some states are dialing back the rule of capture, and they're changing their laws to change the way that these subsurface estates, groundwater, oil and gas might be treated. So with that ancient doctrine in mind, I will leave it there. I will look forward to connecting with you on Twitter or on my website where you can sign up to my mailing list, and I will see you next time. Thank you.